You think Jesus can do anything right here in Las Vegas, Sin City? I believe that what God is doing is He's creating an eternal testimony. And what we know is when we can come together under a spirit of unity, nothing will be impossible. Hello and welcome to another episode of Las Vegas United. I'm your host, Aaron Pino. You know, here at Las Vegas United, you hear me say it all the time, we are partnering with God, creating eternal testimonies of God's mercy, goodness, and power. And what God is doing here in Las Vegas, I believe He's doing just that. You know, Psalms 133 says how good it is for us to dwell together in unity, for there is the commanded blessing. And so part of us dwelling together in unity is bringing on different leaders in our community. We've had pastors on the show. We've had ministries on the show. We've had entrepreneurs and business people on the show. And today you're in for a real treat because I have some new friends on the show. Would you help me welcome Bronson and Roxanne Cosier? Welcome to the show this morning, guys.
Thanks, Pastor Aaron. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, very honored. So.
Awesome. I'm honored to have you guys on here. I think you guys are wonderful people.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to talk today because I think you guys are really helping a lot of people. And so we just want to get your message out to the masses. You know, a lot of our audience are believers. And so I feel like what you guys have to bring to the table, a lot of believers can benefit from what you guys are doing. But before we talk about that, let our audience get to know you guys a little bit more. Tell us how long you guys been married, how long you've been in Vegas, kids, all that good stuff.
Sure. I mean, I'll let my wife go first.
So we've been married for 3 years.
4.
Oh, 4 years. Sorry.
Oh.
Time goes by fast.
Yeah,
4 years.
that's right.
We just made 4 years. We have an amazing 2-year-old who thinks she's 13.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
What else is there? How long we've been in Vegas?
We've been married 4 years, but we've been together going on 8 years now.
Awesome.
Met in church.
Met in church in a small group.
Yeah.
I say he has strong prayers. No,
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm very blessed.
No, yeah, and it was something that would it just happened. You know, God I feel like God brought us together in that moment. Because at the time, we were going a small group, and I wasn't looking, you know, I was like, you know what, how old was I? 19 years old. Yeah, I was just focused on my relationship with God. And during small group, here comes Roxanne. And
watch out.
Yeah, and then, you know, pretty much the rest is history. So.
Oh, man. He said pretty much the rest is history. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome. So you guys met in church. You guys fell in love. How long you guys been in Vegas?
So for me, I've been in Vegas since 2000. My parents moved us out here from the island of Oahu, which is in Hawaii. So back in 2000, I was like 5 years old. They wanted to provide a better life for us, a better opportunity. So, they took me, at the time, my 2 brothers. I was the second. So I have an older brother, and then I have one under me. So my older brother,
middle kids, come on, we got to unite, bro. I'm a middle child too. Let's go.
So they brought us out here just to provide a better opportunity for us.
I moved out here in 2005 with my family from Maui, Hawaii. So different island, but same thing. My sister and I are 10 years apart. And so before the move, my mom was very established. She was a loan officer in Maui. But she saw the opportunity the mainland would provide, and she's like, I'm thinking about you girls. So we made the move, and
That's awesome.
Moved to Vegas. They chose Vegas.
Yeah, wow. And no greater place to land up than Las Vegas.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm super grateful for our city. I think it's a wonderful city. And I like hearing people's stories because everyone has a different background. Some people are born and raised here. Other people are brought here, and they're still here after being brought here. And so I love the fact that you guys are from Hawaii, and you're here in Vegas. There's a huge Hawaiian conglomerate here. You know, what'd you say? The ninth island.
Ninth island.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. So you guys are here in Vegas. You guys meet in church. And you guys are doing this amazing thing right now. We met a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about what you guys have going on.
Yes.
And we're just going to go. You weren't even expecting I was going to invite you on the show. You know what I mean?
No.
You guys just like, hey, we see you on social. We love to connect. We love to talk. And I was like, man, Las Vegas needs to hear what you guys are doing. So talk to us a little bit about what you guys are doing, how you guys are serving our community, how you guys are serving people.
Yeah. I guess, I'll start. So, I mean, The purpose of reaching out to people, especially in the church community, is because we're in an industry where we feel like what we do can help so many families, right? So, I mean, just a little bit background on the industry we're in. It's the financial services industry, right? Where we deal with life insurance, all types of life insurance, annuities, stuff like that for people's retirements. But the reason I got into the industry, I was introduced to it by her mom. Her mom, like she said, you know, she was a business type of woman, always thought like a businesswoman. And so I respected her in that sense because I never had that growing up, right? I didn't have like a role model in the business side, entrepreneurial side in my family. So I attracted to that because growing up, when I heard about entrepreneurship and I heard that, you know, what is an entrepreneur? Oh, somebody who owns businesses, who can create their own schedule. They have freedom of time, all that stuff. So it appealed to me growing up. But I didn't have anybody in my life who went that way. So when I got introduced to the financial services industry from her mom, I learned real quick that families aren't really educated on financial services, life insurance, stuff like that. Especially my family. My family wasn't properly educated on how they can benefit from it. And I went to a meeting that her mom invited me to, and I just sat there in that, you know, seminar listening to somebody talk about life insurance, the benefits of it, how it can help families, and everything just related to what my family went through because my dad actually suffered a stroke growing up. And it put my family in a position where we had to downgrade our lifestyle a little bit. You know, finances were tight. My mom was now the main income earner of our family, with her providing for 4 boys because, you know, she has all boys, and my dad at the same time. So I saw a lot of the stuff that she was going through. And as a son, I was at the age where I could understand, you know, because I knew what my dad went through, and I understand what she was going through because it's like now she lost an income in the household. Yeah. Right. One of the main incomes where that was providing for us. Oh, yeah. So when I heard about life insurance and how it helps families in those situations, I really felt that God placed me in that room so that I can be that person, that voice for other families so that they don't have to go through stuff like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love even the fact, because we'll get into this, like, because it's so much more than just like, hey, we're going to sell you life insurance. Yes. You know what I mean? Oh because some people, they hear that and it's like, all right, here comes another sales pitch, another sleazy salesperson just trying to make a commission off of me. But it's so much bigger than that. It's a way for you to build generational wealth. And we can talk about that in a moment. But I love the fact that you're like, my mother-in-law is the one that turned me on to this thing. Yeah. You have family that was even thinking generationally when they invited you in. So Roxanne, tell us a little bit how your family got into this, because I know you have you went to school for medicine, right? Yes. Nursing, right? So talk to us a little about that.
So it's funny because, like you said, I had just graduated nursing school from the Philippines. I got back to Vegas, and my mom, being business minded, I knew that I would be in business. I just didn't know where. So my mom had told me, hey, you should check this out because it's going to be able to provide for you because nursing is going to take a toll on your body. And she knew that I wanted to be in business. But at the time I was like, oh my gosh, this is just another thing you want me to do. So I didn't really catch on to it until she was sitting on the table one day and she was like, oh, this is how much money you'll have. And I'm like, what money? I was like, where's this money at? And she's like, oh, it's in your life insurance policy. And she's like, I was like, let me see. So that's when I start, I mean, I'm human. When I hear money, I'm like, what money? Just because I'm thinking later on in life, like, where's this going to come from if I don't have to work for it? And she was telling me, this life insurance policy isn't only going to benefit you when you pass. It's not going to just benefit your family, but if something happens to you, there's a cash value in it and you can pull out this money and use it for whatever you want. So I think from that point, just thinking of it now, it was like, if you want to open your own business, because she knew I was business minded. So from that point forward, especially in my nursing career, I realized, wow, I went to college 4 years, got my bachelor's. Nursing is not easy, And I'm like, but I never learned about financial literacy. So for me, that mission of educating other people what this can do, because we don't want to be working the next 30, 40 years. If we could choose to, I would assume people wouldn't want to do that. It takes a toll on our body. And just, being family oriented, I grew up seeing my parents work. I didn't want that for my children, not because I knew my parents had to work to provide, but when we were dating, we were saying, okay, when we have kids, we want to be able to have something or a foundation where they don't just see us working. Mm-hmm. So I saw this industry being able to provide that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I love the fact that your mom had the wherewithal to be like, hey, listen, you're going to school right now for nursing, but you need to think long term.
Yeah.
Where I feel like a lot of times in church culture, believers, they don't know how to think long term. You know what I mean? Even as a pastor, like, I try to help my people think long term. You know what I mean? Like, even whenever it comes to like tithing and offering and that kind of thing, like, look, it's long. You're making a long term investment. That's an eternal investment. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why do you think it is, especially in church culture? You know, I'm fully aware that our audience, the majority of our audience, are church people. You know what I mean? We might have some people coming on that aren't, but we're speaking a lot to church people. So why do you think it is that a lot of church people don't have that long-term vision? What do you guys see in what you guys are doing?
I think for us, like, especially when we meet with people, I feel like everybody looks at things as like a bill, right? Especially when it comes to life insurance, it's like, oh, now it's like another $50 bill. But really, like, life insurance isn't just a bill. Right, like you're paying into something that, number one, is going to protect your life. Right, God forbid anything happens to us, because tomorrow's never promised. Your family will be protected if anything was to happen to you. Right, especially for me, I'm more intentional, especially when it comes to parents. Right, because parents have kids, and for us being new parents, like the most important thing for us is we want to have coverage for ourselves, because if anything was to happen to us, our daughter would be taken care of. But it's not looking at it as like, oh, I got to make another monthly payment to my life insurance. And it's like, it's not a bill, because even though you're paying into a life insurance policy, it's not going to just cover you in case of death, but it also covers you, say you want to retire nicely. Right? Because like Roxanne said, there's that cash value growth that grows in a permanent life insurance policy that, say you get up to, retirement age and your kids are good, your kids are taken care of, they're adults, they have their own families. You're not so worried about them anymore, right? Financially. But now you were like, okay, what about my finances, right? I'm at this age where I'm like, how am I going to retire, right? Most people don't think about how they're going to retire. I mean, realistically, like 90% of America don't have an adequate retirement account. That's why so much people are having to go back to work, right? So much people are getting back out of retirement because they don't have any more income, so now they got to go back to work to make income. So I look at it as like you're investing for your long-term future, whether it's putting your $50, $100 a month. That's going to protect you, your life, your family, but it's also going to provide a retirement account or type of fund for you in the future, or savings. Yeah. So I think it's just people look at it as like another bill, but
or like, I think it goes down to like lack of education in financial literacy, especially when it comes to Christians, because we're like, ooh, money, like, oh, I'm not about getting rich, but it's not about getting rich. It's about preparing, because we can avoid many things. And like something that I love that our pastor says is money is a tool. We as the church are here to help others, but how are we going to help people if we don't have the finances, right? Yeah. We want to be we are made to be a blessing, and money is just one of those tools
that we can do that with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think money is one of the greatest tools. I try to teach my kids even now about the importance of money.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I tell them money's a tool. Like the tool, like if you have a hammer and a nail, these are tools. And you need specific tools in order to do specific jobs. And I tell them, like, do you guys like going to Disneyland? Like, yeah, we do. And I was like, well, we need the tool of money to get to Disneyland. You know what I mean? Do you like wearing clothes? Yeah, well, we need the tool of money to buy clothes. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times in church world, we want to steer clear from money because we think it's a bad thing. It's like this, it's off limits, you know what I mean? And a lot of times in church world, we just think the blessing. You know what I mean? I'm going to put in my my money, whenever we talk about tithing and giving, I'm going to put my money and I'm going to get the blessing back to me.
Yes.
But there is actually a formula that I've learned when talking to a lot of my wealthy friends. You know what I mean? I have several friends in my family and abroad that are multimillionaires. You know what I mean? And they tell me, like, don't you call me a millionaire. You better put a multimillionaire on that thing. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah.
But they talk about, like, whenever it comes to money, they said you have to make money, then you have to manage the money.
Yeah.
That way you can multiply your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so talk to us a little bit about how people can build generational wealth with the services that you guys provide.
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to life insurance, most people think about just the death benefit, right? Like it covers them, God forbid something happens.
That their family would benefit.
That their family would benefit from it. Which, like I said, for parents, like it's super important, especially if you have kids. But outside of just that death benefit, permanent life insurance policies have like a savings account within it, right? So it's like if you look at it, like a small portion of that monthly payment is covering your death benefit, right? But the majority of that remaining of the payment goes into like a savings account within your life insurance policy where it's earning compound interest that is uninterrupted. Right. So every year it's compounding with some of these policies. Just for an example, like they could be growing at 9%, which is a lot better than your money sitting in a savings account with a bank.
Yeah.
At 0.01%.
You're not really making anything.
You actually lose money in a savings account.
And when you get into this industry and you actually learn, like, what do banks do with people's money? They also buy life insurance. There's a thing out there called BOLI, which is bank-owned life insurance. And banks, like Bank of America owns the most life insurance than any other company, any other person out there in America. So it's like when I look at it, it's like, okay, so banks, they're smart, right? They know how to make money. So if they're buying life insurance, why aren't we doing the same thing? Right. So like I look at like going back to how Roxanne said, like when it comes to our purpose as like people of faith, church Christian, it's like, we want to be able to bless others. So what are the ways or what are the vehicles that we can utilize to do that? Yeah. And then when it comes to creating that generational wealth, like one thing that we did with our daughter, like when she was born, we got her a permanent life insurance policy, right? Where we're funding it to a place where by the time she's 19, 20 years old, there's going to be over 6 figures in her savings account that she can utilize, right? This is like generational wealth that we're building for her that she can utilize for whatever she wants. If she chooses to go to school, she can do that. If she wants to start her own business, she can do that.
And just to add on to that, she's going to be taught the importance of life insurance so she can do that for her family too.
Yes.
Just because we don't want it to just stop at her. Generational wealth continues on because you're educating. You don't just educate yourself, you educate your children on the importance of it too.
Yes.
And one thing that my mom did for my daughter, her grandson, my nephew, was she got them life insurance also because she said, this is what I can do now for them. And that's going to leave her legacy because she's going to know, my daughter's going to know my grandma gifted me with a life insurance policy that I'm able to use. And, so
yeah, I look at it as like it's a very good thing for kids. And it's like now that we learn about this industry and how it can benefit kids, it's like, man, I was like, imagine if we were that age, imagine if we were that age and our parents were properly educated on that, and just imagine the opportunity that you can provide for your family in the future. And it's like the benefit of getting kids policies is they're super young.
Yeah.
Right. And life insurance is based off of two things. It's basically their age and how much coverage you're getting. And generally babies are very young and they're very healthy. Right.
Yeah.
So like it's not like now, like for us, if we're to get life insurance, now we're older, our health isn't as, we're not as we're not as healthy as a baby. So it's going to cost us a little bit more. But for kids, like the thing that they have is they're young and they have so much years ahead of them for that money to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Which you guys know this, the Bible says a righteous man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Yes.
And this is a way practically, easily, to where people can begin to build that generational wealth and pass along to their children. In in Scripture, you know, I'm a pastor, so what I do is the Bible.
Of
you know
course,
what I mean?
I love
but
it.
in Scripture, we actually read that God is a God of generations.
Yeah.
He's generational synergy. You know what I mean? And that basically means is one generation acquiring something.
Yeah.
When they pass on, they pass it along to the next generation.
Yes.
So not only does the next generation inherit what the previous generation has given them, they can build, and that way they can pass it on. And so you just have this huge compounding effect.
Yeah.
That we see in Scripture. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, Abraham was blessed, Isaac was blessed, Jacob was blessed.
Yeah.
And actually all the way it went to Joseph until there was the famine in Egypt. But
Yeah.
I'm not about to preach to everybody right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But the reality
It's
is it's what you guys are talking about right now is a way that people can take care of their family, which is a biblical precedent
Yes.
for believers. And I think it's absolutely outstanding what you're doing. You know, I think it's building that generational wealth.
Yeah.
And so I know we don't have enough time to like go into the practical, like they're gonna book a consultation with you guys and this, that, and the other. But what are some things that you guys would cover and go over if someone called you up and said, "Hey, Bronson, Roxanne, help me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are some baby steps?
I mean, yeah. So whenever somebody reaches out to us, our main thing, like our purpose of what we do here, is just education. Because like I said, when I wasn't educated until I was introduced to it by her mom, right? So it's just educating people about the products, how they can benefit them, and it's really we can tailor it to really what the client is looking for. Like I always tell people, like the possibilities are endless when it comes to life insurance, and it covers every aspect of life, right? In the sense of it protects your life, God forbid anything happens to you. It also creates generational wealth in there. For example, like if you don't have a properly funded retirement account with a job, 401k, anything like that, you can utilize that eventually down the years for your retirement. And the benefit of that is it's a life insurance policy. All benefits that come out of it is tax free. So a lot of people don't like taxes.
Yeah,
and a lot of people don't like losing money.
Yeah,
right.
I don't like losing money.
So when it comes to certain products in the life insurance industry, there's products that cover all those aspects. And then kind of going back to my story and how it related to me is because my dad suffered a stroke, right? But they weren't properly educated on something like this. And these products also cover families in those instances where if they get diagnosed with terminal illness, chronic illness, critical illness, you can accelerate the benefit of your life insurance policy to take care of medical bills, to supplement your income.
Whatever you want.
Pretty much whatever you want.
They will not ask you what you'd use that for.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. So we're coming to a close here. We have just a few minutes left. But what do you say to somebody who's maybe not as young, who's not a baby, you know what I mean?
Right.
Who is young, who's not as young, you know what I mean? Who maybe has a little bit of health things going on, but they say like, this is something I think I want to pursue. Like, what do you say to those people?
I mean, we can take a look at it. So, I mean, the benefit of our company is that we represent multiple financial service companies in America, because we're considered carriers. Yeah, we're considered a broker. So there are many companies that do work with clientele of older age, right, where we can still try to get them something, some kind of coverage. So it's just really sitting down and just finding out those basics of going through like questionnaires about their health, because certain companies are make specific products for that, I guess, that age group.
I also wanted to add one more thing, Pastor
Yeah, go
Aaron.
ahead.
Along with that, let's say, we do talk about insurance, but we also provide an opportunity with our company. And right now, me and Bronson are in charge of expanding Vegas. So maybe they're like, I don't know really too much about insurance right now. With our company, that this financial literacy is really where it goes down to. And so that's another opportunity or chance to kind of figure out
To help our community
what
as well.
advantages they can take part of is the opportunity we provide about being able to come on board as an agent as well, and just learning the industry and how they can build generational wealth through this as well, because our company is really about building leaders. And we know, especially being Christian or being saved. It's like we want to continue to build
more leaders
in the church.
Yeah.
With our
I love
values.
it. So not only are you guys helping people plan long term, but you guys are wanting to give people jobs too. That's what I'm hearing, right? I mean,
well, it's like, it's an opportunity because, like I said, her mom shared this opportunity with me.
So that's what our vision is to also share not just life insurance, not just getting people protected in that sense, but building generational wealth through.
Because I mean, I can say too, like I didn't grow up saying, I know what I want to be. I want to be a life insurance agent. That's what I'm gonna do. But I didn't grow up in that. But I saw the bigger picture of this industry and what it can do and how it can help the American families.
Yeah.
It's a foundation for what we want to do in our church and the community. So
yeah, I mean, we share the same opportunity that was presented to me. And in today's economy, it's something that is also important for us, because we see people who, are getting laid off left and right, losing jobs. It's truly, crazy what's going on, especially in these other industries where people are just losing their jobs. So.
Yeah. Incredible. So if people want to get in contact with you and find out more about what you guys are doing, what's the best way for them to do that?
I mean, they can always reach out through us through our contact, our phone numbers. I mean, my phone number is 702-237-1341.
My number is 702-352-5015, and our social media. I'm really big on social media.
Social medias, we do have like Calendly links where they can set up an appointment through there, see our schedule, what days we have open, and it's just a consultation. Just sitting down where people can ask us questions about the products,
or the business,
or learn more about the insurance or the business aspect of it as well.
Wow, that's awesome. That is incredible. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today. I had a
you.
really good time talking.
Yes.
And I think this is something that every believer needs in their life.
Definitely.
And so thank you for making this available to everybody. Thank you guys. And listen, I want to thank you all for taking some time to join us on this episode. Can you do me a favor? If you're watching this on Keen 17, can you send us an email and let us know what your favorite episode has been so far? If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, would you go ahead and like our Facebook channel? Would you subscribe to the YouTube channel? And would you share this with somebody? And I know some people are actually out there and you listen to the podcast weekly on iTunes and Spotify. Would you share the podcast with somebody? Because it just helps us get the word out. Listen, I want to say thank you so much for joining us this week on Las Vegas United, and we will see you next time. God bless you.
Our show is hosted by Pastor Aaron Pino of OverFlow Church. To learn more about him and his ministry, please visit overflowchurch.co. The guests this week are Bronson and Roxanne Cosier. Follow them on Instagram at BronceCosier. Las Vegas United is produced by CT in Vegas, the Las Vegas location for the Christian Television Network. For more information about CT in Vegas and our show, please visit ctinvegas.com.